Hi guys, it's Misty from the Book Rat, and it's time for my February book haul. So to the best of my knowledge, this is everything I got in February, but I kind of have a feeling like I'm missing something. But here are the books. I made a little trip to Ollie's, which we know is always dangerous for me, but I needed some things that were actually non-bookish, but that doesn't stop me from hitting the book section as soon as I walk in the door, which meant that I came out of there with things. So I walked away with 2 books for me and some presents for other people, so I won't show you those, but both of the books that I got for myself are fairy tale related. And they are Nameless by Lily St. Crow, which is a retelling of Snow White, which I would imagine you would probably guess. This is one of my favorite covers in a good long while, and it continues around to being gorgeous on the back. Love it. I also really love the pop of yellow and how it's carried throughout the book. The other is Long Long Sleep by Anna Sheehan, which is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty. It is set in the future, I believe, and is maybe even a little bit dystopia. I don't remember. It's been a while since this one came out, and I've wanted it ever since, and I've heard both really good things and really bad things. So we'll see where I fall on the spectrum, though most people seem to think that I'll like it. But again, beautiful cover. The spine underneath is really pretty too. That was all I bought in February, I think. So now on to some review books. From First Second Books, I got a copy of This One Summer by Jillian and Mariko Tamaki. This one is a graphic novel and is contemporary, and it looks beautiful. It's all in this sort of dusky blue color, I love. It doesn't come out until May, so I'll be talking about it then, but I will definitely be reading it well before then because I might need to read it this weekend. I was just saying that I love when there are just contemporary stories in graphic novel form. I think it adds a lot to it and can be really interesting, and it's something that's starting to be used more often, so I'm just really looking forward to it. And I'm also just really curious to see Jillian's illustration, because if you didn't know, Jillian is the one who did the Penguin Threads version of classic books, where she embroidered these whole scenes and they were printed in that style, embroidery style, with French flaps and amazingness and the reverse embroidery on the back, and just, I'm a little bit obsessed with those. So of course, seeing Jillian's name attached made me pretty excited. Next up from Macmillan, I got a copy of The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, which is the beginning to a new series. You may recognize Mary's name from the Adoration of Jenna Fox series. I think the series name is The Fox Inheritance, which I have, and I might have the second book, I can't recall offhand. I haven't read them yet, though they sound really good to me, and this sounds insanely good to me. I normally don't read the little blurby things, but this one's really brief and super intriguing, so I'm going to share it with you. A defiant princess must find her destiny in a reborn world. She is Princess Leah, 17, first daughter of the House of Morgan. Escaping on her wedding day, pursued by bounty hunters, an assassin, and the jilted prince, Leah finds herself on the brink of unlocking perilous secrets, even as she finds herself falling in love. Obviously that had to be pretty high on my want list, so thank you Macmillan for that. This one comes out in July? Yes, July 15th, so quite a wait on this one, guys. I'm sorry, but probably you're gonna want to pick it up. Just saying. Also, this isn't the final cover, the new cover was just released, and it is a beauty. And from Waldenpausen Press, I got a copy of the final book in the Hero's Guide series, The Hero's Guide to Being an Outlaw by Christopher Healy. This is a middle grade fairy tale retelling series, which you guys are probably familiar with. If not from having read it or seen it in stores, then from Fairy Tale Fortnight and me talking about it every spring. So I just have to say, I might be the most excited for this one. My favorite part of the books generally has been the little itty bitty outlaw bandit king. Christopher Healy does that sort of ridiculous villain humor really well, and knowing that the whole book is going to kind of revolve around that makes me really excited. And then seeing this cover, which is just gloriously absurd, silly and quirky, I'm just ready. I'm so ready. That was all for the review books, and on to some gifts. Quite a while back, Rachel Hartman, author of Serafina, which is glorious, and if you haven't read it, you should ASAP. Rachel and I got talking on Goodreads about the cover art for Serafina, and it's this beautiful woodcut, and it's so detailed and just something to pore over, and it's amazing. So we were talking about that, which got us talking about, like, I think medieval times. And you may remember Rachel was on the vlog a while back for an interview, and she sang us a little medieval ditty, so there was just kind of this back and forth discussion with Rachel. and she mentioned her graphic novel that she had written, and Rachel said she thought I would like it, so she sent me a copy, and it's Amy Unbound, Belondweg Blossoming, and hopefully I didn't just massacre that. I might have. Who knows? You may recognize that name if you've read Seraphina, because Belondweg is a part of the mythology of the world that Seraphina is set in. This isn't necessarily related to Seraphina, but it's of the world that Rachel Hartman created. So I really like when authors do that. I like when things are kind of companions, even if you don't realize they are. When things just kind of keep adding to your picture of a place, of the thing. It has a foreword by Linda Medley, whom I've talked about before. She wrote the Castle Waiting series, which is these really excellent graphic novel fairy tale retellings that follow sort of side characters of fairy tales, and I love it. I adore that graphic novel series so very much, which also was something that we were talking about and why Rachel said she wanted to send me this. There's a foreword by Linda Medley, and I'm probably just babbling at this point. Pretty much just I'm excited about this. If you, like me, are waiting for Shadowscale, the follow-up to Seraphina, and you just need more Rachel Hartman in your life, Amy Unbounded, y'all. Also, it's signed. So thank you, Rachel, for that. Also, it really reminds me that I need to buy copies of Castle Waiting. Those need to be on my bookshelves. It's really a travesty. I need to fix that. And lastly, I got some early birthday presents from Liz of Consumed by Books, because she's amazing. She had just asked me recently on Twitter if I had ever seen this movie that she had just watched and she thought I would really like, and I hadn't. It's a French movie based on a French graphic novel that I had never even heard of before, so she sent me a copy, and it is The Extraordinary Adventures of Adele Blanc-Sec, which sounds so quirky and glorious. Look at that. She's riding a mother effing pterodactyl over pyramids. That sounds amazing. I don't know if the graphic novel has been translated into English, and if it has, I don't know how hard it would be to get my hands on it, but I think I want to try because this sounds just really quirky and fun. So I'll be watching that soon, so Liz, I promise I will share my thoughts. If you guys have watched it, let me know what you think. And if you haven't watched it and you're into quirky things, Extraordinary Adventures of Adele Blanc-Sec. And then she also sent me 2 books that were on my wish list because she knows me well and knows, always seems to know what's at the top of my pile. I am kind of amazed that I hadn't bought both of these books, actually as pre-orders. I blame it on the fact that I'm generally poor and that I'm patient, you know. I'll wait until I can't anymore. But yeah, these both probably would have been bought soon, and Liz always manages to just swoop in there and get them to me before I can get them to myself. So the 2 books were The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, which has been on my wish list forever, and it sounds so good. And the other book was Vicious by V.E. Schwab, aka Victoria Schwab, who wrote The Near Witch and the Archived series. I really like Victoria's writing and her stories. I find them very creative and just beautifully told, so definitely looking forward to this one. I love all the little detail on this cover that you can't necessarily see online. Like, I never noticed that the figure was holding a glass with apparent blood dripping from their hand. So, you know, it's the little things. So thank you, Liz, for those. And if you guys didn't know, Liz and I are hosting a monthly book club called Wednesday YA, where each month we pick a book that we both own, read it together, and share it with you guys and invite you guys to join in. And both of these are books that Liz already owns, so now that I do, they're both going on that list. So these might end up being Wednesday YA picks soon, and I pick the book next month, so I think I'm going to try to put all of the books that Liz and I both own, so they're options, into a shelf on Goodreads. So if you guys want to take a browse through and recommend which book you think that I should pick for our March book club, I will leave a link below, assuming that I follow through on this statement that I'm making right now. So click it, go add us both as friends on Goodreads if you haven't, and let me know which you are really curious to see and which ones you would join in and read along with us for Wednesday YA. And that is a really long video, I'm sorry, but it was a lot of cool stuff to show you guys, so yay for that, and yay for all of the awesome that either is coming out soon, or is out now, or is now on my bookshelves, and it's gonna make me happy every time I look at it. So thank you, everyone, and, you know, yay books. That's all for now. As always, thanks for watching, and happy reading. Obviously, that had to be hatted. I can't talk straight lately. Anyway, you may Remecognize? What the Oh my, I think I might have had like a stroke or something.